Ladies and gentlemen, and hockey fans of all ages, we are getting close to the NHL All-Star break, which means we're getting close to trade deadline, which means the race for the playoffs are around the corner and the Stanley Cup playoff. What does this all mean? It just means hockey getting really good to watch, ladies and gentlemen, and a lot's going on. My name is Randy Dillon. Welcome back to another edition of Randy Talks Hockey. A lot has happened this week around the NHL. Another coach has been fired. Injuries are affecting team. And we have rivalries boiling, players beating records, re-signings, all that kind of fun stuff. I got you all covered. We're going to start off in the Western Conference, ladies and gentlemen. The big news, no doubt about, we all heard. Gerard Gallant was fired from the Vegas Golden Knights. A little bit of a head scratcher because the Knights, they lost 4 in a row. They were struggling, but they weren't falling off a cliff. If you heard Kelly McCrimmon talk, he was saying they didn't feel Gerard was getting the job done here right away. They feel like things were not going the right direction. And you look at Vegas this season. They had a high moment, then they went low. Now they're back high, then they're low. So I think they want a little more consistency for a team that they think can win a Stanley Cup. And let's not forget a team that went to the finals 2 years ago. And the new head coach for the Knights, well, kind of surprised, Pete DeBoer, the former head coach of the Sharks. And this is the same head coach that battled Gerard Gallant last year in the first round with that really an epic first round between the Sharks and the Golden Knights. Then we go back to Game 7, the 5 minute major for the Sharks with the Pavelski, Cody Eakin incident and all the comments after. Just interesting what's going to happen there. Good news for Gerard Gallant. He'll have steady goaltending as he didn't have, for Pete DeBoer, as he didn't have in San Jose. Good group of forwards, but the big question is going to be the defense. A really heavy load on the left side with left-hand defensemen. They need a right-hand defense, and I think they need a top 6 overall. Kelly McCrimmon got to make sure he gets that top 6 defense for the Vegas Golden Knights. They got assets, but they're strapped against cap room. How is that all going to work? Remember, that's the reason they lost Colin Miller, because of cap space. But man, oh man, things are getting interesting for the Knights, and even in the Pacific Division, we might add. 3 teams tied for first in the Vegas and the Arizona Coyotes, the Edmonton Oilers, Calgary Flames, Vegas Golden Knights, Vancouver Canucks are in the wild card, but they're only 1 point out of first. Now these teams, some of them have finished their matchups, some of them still got to play each other. But man, oh man, those games are going to be so important. Those, forget 4 or 5 point games. These are you win, you're going to have a better chance to make the playoff. You lose, you're running out of luck here. And we know that Winnipeg's right in the playoff race. Chicago's not far behind. Nashville, they're a little bit out, but not too far out. We'll see how all this works out, but man, oh man, it's going to be interesting. Not all 5 teams from the Pacific Division is going to make it. Who's going to make it, though? Only time will tell. Well, staying in the Pacific Division, you can say the Battle of Alberta is alive and well. We saw in the game last Saturday between the Oilers and Fame Matthews to chuck Zach Cassian, to chuck a couple of hits. One not so pretty good, maybe should be a concern. And then we have Zach Cassian, who really just threw to Chuck on the ground, trying to beat the holy heck out of him. He got a 2-game suspension for that play. As we've seen around the league, that is kind of a new norm. We saw last season when Michael Madsen threw Elias Pettersson to the ground. We saw this year already Milan Lucic really going after a player of the Columbus Blue Jackets, throwing him to the ground. That kind of stuff after whistle, not acceptable. It's been a word of words between the 2 teams, to Chuck and Cassian. The players standing up for each other on each other team. We have comments from even former players on opposite battle of Milan Lucic and James Neal. But the big question is, what's going to happen when these 2 teams meet twice? January 29th and February 1st. Now, the league has set a warning, so something's going to happen in one of those 2 games. We're going to see a couple of fights, a brawl. I don't think a bench brawl, but maybe some line brawls. I don't know. But it's going to be a very exciting game. You got to make sure you watch both of those or one of them, because man, oh man, it's going to be interesting. And the best part about it all, to Chuck Giordano and David Riddick, they're going to meet McDavid and Draisaitl at the All-Star game. That's going to be a little awkward. Now we're going off to the Eastern Conference to see what's going around there. Well, the big news is Sidney Crosby is back and he hasn't missed a beat. In his first game back, he had 4 points. In his first 3 games back, 6 points. The Penguins are really still striving. Now you have him and Malcolm going all cylinders go. This Penguin team might be really a legitimate cup contender with all the injuries they've gone through, all the adversity. Tristan Jarry playing great. Matt Murray can maybe sweep in and help it out. But if this team can get a top 6 forward to replace Jake Gensel and a little bit of help on the bottom 6 of the defense, man, oh man, they're going to be dangerous. In other news regarding the Penguins, their rivals up in D.C., the Washington Capitals, Nick Backstrom signed is going to be there for 5 more years, ladies and gentlemen, worth $41 million, a cap hit of 9.12. I'm a big fan of Backstrom. Everyone knows I do like the Capitals, but I'm not happy with the term. 5 years, a little bit too much, just because he's 32. You know during age you're going to decrease, but who knows? 9.9, yeah, a little too much, but you look at a player like a guy like John Tavares, who's going to be going that long, Erik Karlsson, a defenseman. So maybe he took a little bit of a pay cut around that time, who we can't really say at this point, but I know fans in the DC area is happy. But the big question is going to be, what's going to happen with Braden Holtby, who is a UFA at the end this year. The Capitals are saying, we'll sign you a short term, not a long term. You got rookie Ilya Samsonov, who's playing great, 13-2-1, I think. He had a very good goals against average and save percentage. Possibly saying he might be a Calder candidate with Cale Makar and Quinn Hughes and Victor Olofsson. But, man, oh man, if Ilya Samsonov pushing Braden Holtby out, we saw what happened in 2018, ladies and gentlemen. Philip Grubauer pushed Holtby out. When Holtby came back, he was a savior. Could the history repeat itself and possibly bring another championship DC? I would be happy with that. I'm not going to lie. Other injury notes, couple of big injury notes around the East. Tuukka Rask suffering a concussion. He's going to be out for a while. He's not going for the All-Star break, and we know Rask has a history of concussion. The good news is for the Bruins, you got Yaroslav Halak, who's been a good 1-2 punch with the Bruins. He's going to play the rest of the game before the All-Star break. Will Rask be back then? Who knows? Concussions are always interesting. So Halak may be getting majority of games. He hasn't played a long stretch of games since his time with the Islanders back in the 2017-2018 season. So it'll be interesting how that works. And also, this is down the road, Bruin fans. What are you going to do in net? Because you got Halak, who's a UFA. Rask is a UFA a year after that. You're really kind of strapped for cap space. So how is that going to work? But that's the problem for another day. Carolina Hurricanes suffering a huge injury loss. Dougie Hamilton is out indefinitely with a leg injury. You saw what happened on the Thursday game between the Hurricanes and the Blue Jackets. It was just ugly Hamilton leg. It was like, he's out indefinitely. That's a big loss for the Canes. They have the depth to replace him in the defense spot, but I think offensively, how are you going to do that? Hamilton, 4th in Canes scoring, 3rd in goals. He's having a great year. Possibly he's challenging John Carlson for the Norris, or he might be winning the Norris, but with his injury, who knows? Now he's not going to the All-Star game. Who's going to replace him? But we'll see how this is going to affect the Canes scoring, because he's been a big part of that Hurricanes offense. The Columbus Blue Jackets, they are in a wild card spot, ladies and gentlemen. Who would have thought that at this point in the season, even with all the injuries? I'm just saying this much for the Blue Jackets. If they make the playoff, you got to give Tortorella the Jack Adams after the year he did, after the work he's done, and all the players that the Blue Jackets lost and the injuries. Another injury, Carter Hart of the Philadelphia Flyers. He's out for a little bit time, 2 to 3 weeks due to a lower upper body injury. Brian Elliott is going to be finishing off before the games for the Flyers before the All-Star break. Hopefully Hart back then for the Flyers, but if not, hopefully Elliott can get the job done. Now we're going to finish off the segment of trade deadline is just around the corner, talking about the rumors, who's available, who's not, what do players want. Well, we're going to stick with the Battle of Alberta. At the Calgary Flames and the Edmonton Oilers both want top 6 forwards. Oilers are going to be a little harder than Flames to get it because they're really tight against the cap. And are they willing to give up young assets they've been trying to get to help this team build? The good thing for them, Kyle Yamamoto is doing good, but they could use help on the wing. How are they going to do it? Ken Holland, let's see if you have any magic. And the big thing for the Flames, they're looking for top 6 winger. Rumors saying Tyler Toffoli. I'm going to say they should go to New York and maybe get Chris Kreider. He has size, he has speed, he might be a good fit there. And let's not forget, a big reason why the Flames lost last year was size and physicality. That might be something Kreider will bring to them. Matthew Dumba, the Minnesota Wild, might be on the trade block. He has 4 years left at $6 million cap hit. He's a right-hand defenseman. He's 25 years age. You think that's pretty good, but I know Dumba has had a bad year. Last year, he played 32 games, but he put 22 points. The year before that, he had 50 points. So Dumba, he's still a young player. He can get it going. We've seen it when he's playing his best hockey. So this might be hard to do before the deadline because of all the cap morality, and you got to make sure this fits here, player fit here. So there could be an off-season trade. We'll see what happened there. And finally, Ilya Kovalchuk, he found a home in Montreal, 7 points in 7 games. He had 3 goals. He is really doing a great job. He only had 9 goals in 18 games with the Kings, so you can see he's happy in Montreal. Will the Canadiens be trading him at the deadline? He will bring them assets, but it had to be the right fit because it wasn't the fit in LA. It's the right fit in Montreal. So who's going to take that risk for Kovalchuk? And remember, not much big of a cap hit, so it's all going to depend on what you're going to get in return. Montreal. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I got for you this week. Next week in our Randy Talk Hockey episode, we'll go through what teams are fighting for the playoffs and what are their chances. Are they going to fight? Are they going to make it? Are they going to disappear and have to go golfing in the offseason? Have a good one, everyone. And remember, always be watching hockey.